My name is Chris, and welcome back to this series where we're reading sections from the book by Mohanji, Power of Purity, which is essential essays and answers about spiritual paths and liberation. It's a really good book. It has a collection of all different various topics, and it's a compilation of all the transcripts that Mohanji has ever spoken in satsangs and discussions, and it covers all topics. And today I'm going to read about spiritual progress, and specifically the question, how to measure spiritual progress. So first I will read the section from the book completely. It's very short. And then I'll go back through it and add in some of my own thoughts and views for those that are interested. And then hopefully that makes it a bit more of a discussion. And it'll be great as well to have any comments or questions posted against the video. So I'll begin without waiting any further. So the question, how to measure spiritual progress? Simplicity is one criterion. Reduced or reduction of dependency on external elements is a second. And change in the type and quality of friends is the third. Simplicity. The thought process becomes simpler. There will be fewer complications in lifestyle, and you'll prefer a simple but elegant existence. This includes simple food, often a vegetarian, sattvic diet, simple clothing, a simple lifestyle. And if you force yourself, it won't work. It should happen to you based on your own evolution level. And simplicity is godliness. The closer you are to God, the energy inside, the more simple you become. The more you become independent. You'll have fewer terrestrial needs. The third, dependency. The more spiritually evolved you become, the more self-sufficient you become. You will automatically drop external gadgets for your internal gratification. Dependency will reduce considerably, and the accumulation will also stop. Accumulation of anything, including wealth, knowledge, or even relationships. Life becomes simple and elegant. Mind becomes more objective. Thought process becomes clearer and unbiased. Saints and high masters start appearing in your life because you become eligible to receive them. Whether a particular type of food is available or not, you'll be the same. Whether a particular environment is available to you or not, you'll be the same. Thus, dependency on anything, even people, will steadily reduce, and you will become more and more liberated. Friends also leave too. As we evolve into a new stage, new friends appear. The old ones drop off, unless they also evolve at the same time and same pace as we do. Usually, people evolve spiritually at their own pace, so it is likely that those who cannot understand or recognize this aspect in their friend will cease communication with them. This means parting. So when friends drop away and detach themselves, it could be a sign of your evolution. A different set of friends will appear at each stage, and even in family, each person's evolution will be different. A husband, a wife, and children will all have different levels of evolution. They also get alienated from each other. This is only natural. Even our own relatives will become alienated from us, because our tracks change at some point in life. Not everyone may understand your spiritual growth, hence, take it easy. Do not expect them to. Just let them be, let it go, be kind to everybody, help all, and love all. So that's the first answer to how to measure spiritual progress. So the first point there, which I think is really nice, is simplicity. So when life becomes much more simpler, uncomplicated, in that sense, your food, you have fewer complications, fewer demands. This is a sign that you're becoming or evolving on a spiritual path. Clothes, type of food, simple lifestyle, everything like that. Then the second is dependency. So the more spiritually evolved you become, the more self-sufficient. So you automatically drop any external needs for gratification. So if I'm thinking back to mine actually, one of the big dependencies I have very early on in my life was really the approval of others. You know, other people being happy. What do other people think? How did they think about me? Did I do something right? Was I going to get praise? So I found myself being more, what can I say, less dependent on that ever since connecting to Mohanji. More just happy with the fact that, you know, I have myself, I can do things by myself, and if people are there or not, it's great, it's an enhancement, but I'm not specifically attached and dependent on it for any sort of happiness. This is one thing as well. And I had the fortune to travel with Mohanji too for many years, being his assistant for almost 4. And this was really a fast-paced track of reducing dependency on things, especially food, location, spaces, all of those type of things, because you're traveling so fast and so quickly. You know, a different place here or there, the food's different, the people are different, the environment's different, the heat, temperature, all of those things. So that was really a practical experience of learning to be less dependent on the things outside and just be happy to go with the flow. And no matter where you are, you'll be happy. No matter what you've got in front of you, you'll be okay with it. It's not like, okay, I need a coffee, and if it's not available, then the whole day is a disaster. Then the third one, I find this very interesting, because when I speak to a lot of people about their own spiritual growth, this tends to be very, very common for a lot of people, and I think it can be the most difficult. I know it was for me, and that's when friends begin to leave. And it's almost as when you start to really evolve spiritually. I've spoken to Mohanji about this before. You were once existing in a frequency, and so that frequency naturally brought people of that similar frequency together. So you had your friend group, and I had mine as well for a long time, that's revolving around a specific set of activities. In my case, coming from the UK, it was a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, a lot of going out and sharing those type of common interests. But as I started to become, well, I can say, follow the path or spiritual path, these things weren't interesting for me anymore. So naturally they started to go away. Not that I refused them, but I just wasn't interested. And what I found actually is that many of my friend relationships, that's really what held it together, being interested in that same type of activity. So naturally, when I changed, my whole connection to that type of activity also changed. And naturally then, you know, you become a little bit estranged from certain people, and or maybe the connections aren't as strong. And I found that very challenging at first, because I didn't have really a guide who would take me through this process. But now when we have a community that comes together in discussions like this, online and in person, especially here at the centre in Scotland, Mohanji Centre of Benevolence, it's something that's common when we speak about it. And also for people having that challenge within family as well, especially if a partner or someone is not on a similar path or inclined, it can be a tension. So it's a very clear and good sign. Not that there's a problem with the other person, but naturally your frequency is shifting, your evolution is happening, and so that all needs to be correlated back with the whole dynamic of a relationship again. So interesting. So that was today's reading from the book Power of Purity by Mohanji. And this section was on spiritual progress and how we can measure spiritual progress. Again, my name is Chris. I'm here at the Mohanji Centre of Benevolence. It's in Scotland. It's one of the Mohanji centres which is all over the world. And what we're doing here is creating a good place that has a good energy, and we have a good, I would call it a philosophy or a roadmap on how to connect with the spiritual path, and also how to find that connection within. And so we're having events and talks and many other activities to bring people together of a similar mind and heart. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned and keep watching for the next video. And do add your comments, any questions, and if there's any topic you'd like to discuss in this book has many of them. So the next reading can be sort of dictated by what people would like to hear or see. Thank you again.